The Numarine flagship takes the Explorer yacht experience up a notch. It's based on already a very impressive platform, the 37XP, with its 6 cabins and 6,000 nautical mile range. But on this one, they have completely reworked the aft deck. Not only that, for this sector, there is an enormous amount of modularity and customization available. So can you create the perfect balance of Explorer yacht range and comfortable leisure spaces? Let's find out. I'm Jack Haines, you're watching YachtBuyer. We're going to start up here at the top, not just because it's a boiling hot day and there's a lovely breeze up here, but because this perfectly exemplifies the sort of modularity you can get on board these yachts. I'll explain a little bit in a moment about that. Let's focus more on what we actually have here on this version, which first of all is an enormous dining table, dining space for 12 people here, served by an equally enormous bar, all this cooling space underneath, double-sized grill. The size of that thing, you could really have a proper cook-up on that, couldn't you? Nice, more relaxed seating area here, still underneath the shade of this hardtop, and then right aft here, this is more for the sunbathers back here, obviously catching the sun, but really nicely split up between the dining. You've got some seating right forward too, and then these comfortable shady sofas in the middle. I really like that. But we have a 37XP right next door, and you can see the difference between these two layouts really clearly. That one over there has a hot tub, this one doesn't. You can see a totally different bar over there, and that one has a flybridge helm, which this one doesn't do. So there's a lot of scope, even on a deck like this, to really make your mark, and that continues downstairs. Let's head down there. There is a hell of a lot going on this deck. As you can see, it's where you store your toys and your tenders. Look at this beefy old crane here. That will lift 3 tons, so plenty of capacity to have a decent sized tender on board, and space on this side for some more toys, pair of jet skis, kayaks as well. But going back to that modularity theme, if you don't want that, you could carry your tender on the bathing platform, and you can have another swimming pool here, even bigger than the one below. In fact, hull number 1 had 2 swimming pools. But I think the coolest feature on this deck is actually through those doors, because we arrive at one of 3 potential owners' cabins on board this yacht. It's an option to have a cabin up here, but it's really quite novel in this sector, and it's lovely, isn't it? Up here, nice and high, very private. The other cabins are a deck or 2 decks below, and it has a real sense of occasion. Waking up here would be absolutely lovely. If you don't want a cabin up here, you can have it as an upper saloon instead, in a much more traditional layout. But it's big enough that you've got the bed, obviously. You've also got somewhere to sit, a bureau in the corner, storage lined up down here. Quite nice that you can pop the window open as well. We're relying heavily on the air conditioning, let me tell you. But of course, you can seal this off with the doors. Get a little bit of ventilation, natural breeze running across. Nice sofa down here as well. They've made it into a living space, not just a cabin. I really like that. And it's unique to have this type of arrangement on a boat like this. Very, very cool. We come on down here, we get to the bathroom, of course. You need a bathroom in this cabin, and then the bridge. The bathroom is just in here. Nice size. I quite like this arrangement. Often your sinks are next to each other, but they're opposite each other in this, and they're pretty much identical with mirrors on both sides. And the shower cubicle. That's rather nice, isn't it? With the rainfall shower head and a lovely view as well. There are real benefits to being this high up in the yacht. There's a bench down there too. Really, really nice space. Onwards to the Helm. Right, into the bridge then. Quite a long way forward on the yacht. There is a little bit of living space forward on this deck. It's a couple of sun pads, but really it's a working area. You've got the anchors there and the mooring gear, wing stations as well for manoeuvring, because you're not going to be wanting to berth them in here necessarily. Though that said, you have got a nice suite of cameras, so you've got good oversight of everything, navigation, 4 screens, so you can split all your information really easily. You've got these leaning post / chairs, a couple of those, which is quite nice, so the captain can have some company. In terms of propulsion, well, a pair of 800 horsepower MAN engines, but the most extraordinary thing about this yacht is the 6,000 nautical mile range. It really is a true explorer. There are much, much bigger yachts in this show that can't do that sort of range. It really is a Numarine USP at this level. Elsewhere here, you've got this little seating area, so you can perch back here and do a bit of work and still see forward, crucially. And now I'm going to Tell you right this instant, we can't film the crew spaces, I'm afraid, but we can give you a little peek inside the captain's cabin. She runs with 8 crew, and the captain has his own cabin right up here, adjacent to the bridge, which is very handy. Let's drop downstairs. We're on the main deck now in this lobby area, which is really nicely done. Lovely high ceilings, great use of glass as well, so it doesn't feel like you're sort of being blockaded by lots of dark panels. And I really like these floating treads they've got in these staircases, and they've got lighting underneath as well. This should look really rather lovely in the evening. There's a day head there as well, very handy. And this is a pretty flexible space. I'll talk more about exactly what you can do here when we're inside the cabin, but in this, guys, you've got this nice day bed, which is well positioned because you can lift those blinds. You can have a lovely view out. So if you want to be inside but watch the world go by, great place to be. Let's check out the owner's cabin. If you have the version of this yacht without the cabin up there and you have the lounge instead, this becomes your owner's cabin, and it's a really lovely space. First of all, views out are delightful. Really lovely big windows on both sides with opening sections as well, so you might actually sit here and look out the window because it's such a lovely view. The bed is right in the middle, opposite the television, of course. Now again, there's all sorts of different layouts that I have to try and remember, one of which is you can block off this passageway we've just seen, come round the corner and create a really long walk-in wardrobe. There is a smaller one on this side in this version. You can even put a sort of small gym or exercise machine in there if you want to. Again, it's really quite flexible. Over on this side, more storage. The bureau aligns perfectly with those windows, so you've got a beautiful view out this side as well. Nice large bedside tables, and then we come to the bathroom, running behind the bed of course, but a really decent size. You can see why this is sort of designed to be the owner's cabin. It is more luxurious, it's more spacious than the cabin upstairs, but maybe doesn't feel quite as special, not quite as much an event to be so high up on the yacht, but still a lovely space. Let's head downstairs and see the rest of the many cabins. In keeping with the rest of the yacht, on the lower deck there are lots of different options when it comes to the layout. This particular boat has got 3 twins, all en suite, and then amidships there's a full beam cabin that's got quite an interesting layout within its own right. I'll show you that in a moment. And this is another good example, because here you could have another twin, but they've changed this into a laundry room. So the crew accommodation is just through there. As I said, they're not allowed in there, sorry. But they've extended that space with this option to give you a really nice laundry area, another berth if you need it, and there's a bathroom in here as well. But this could just be another cabin. Note as well how easy it is for the crew to get into the guest accommodation and serve the guests and get into their cabins if they need to. Opposite we have a traditional twin. I'm really glad they've numbered the cabins because it really helps me keep up. But yeah, so this is what the twins look like ordinarily. Nice sized beds, you know, they're twins, but they're nice and wide with a good amount of space between them. All your storage is up here. And as I said, ensuite bathrooms. I won't go into every bathroom because they all look pretty much the same in these twins, but this is what they look like. Smells great in here. Marble sinks, nice separate shower cubicles, very nicely done. And if we move amidships, we've basically got 2 more of the same. A little counter here. I quite like this on yachts of this size. Got a plug socket here so you can plug in a coffee machine, meaning if guests do want to come and have a drink and make a coffee, they don't always have to rely on the crew. Quite like that idea. Then we have a pair of identical twins, so I'll just show you this one. Pretty much the same as the twin we've just been in, although this one is number 4. Again, you've got the separate bathroom, your storage. I didn't mention, however, you have got a nice big TV inset within the mirror behind the door there with a built-in soundbar. That's rather nice. Moving on, identical twin there. And then look at this for a layout. This particular owner decided on 2 queen-size beds. That is nice, huh? Really comfortable cabin. Of course, you could just have 1 bed and a hell of a lot of floor space. Another option is another partition down here, and you get another 2 identical twins. So if you really want to maximize sleeping space, maybe run a boat as a charter vessel, then there are so many options to fulfill that on this boat. Moving behind the beds, we've got the bathroom here. This is big. Really nicely done. Obviously similar theme to the others, but you've got a bit more space to play with. And then if I stretch my legs all the way over to the other side, TV on the wall there. Nice bureau here. I also like the traditional ports, windows. So these all unscrew and then pop open So you don't get masses of natural light like you would have with a sort of full height window, but it's enough, and they look just a little bit more, I don't know, traditional, sturdy, explorer-y. And then here, a really good size walk-in wardrobe. So on this boat, depending on your mood, what guests are on board, where you are even, because you're closer to the engine room here, so it might be a little bit noisier, you could use this as the master, the one on the main deck, or the one at the top of the yacht. Now that's flexibility. Now that we've finally seen all of the sleeping accommodation, let's have a closer look at the living spaces, starting with the main deck saloon. The main saloon then, there's no other way to say it, it's bloody enormous. There is so much space in here. Look at the size of this dining table. There's a lot of seating here, but it doesn't feel overcrowded. There's plenty of space for it in this saloon. It is truly enormous. Really lovely bar back here as well. Plenty of storage for your liquor, nice and close to the table. And then we have the galley through there. Really easy to serve guests from that galley here into the main dining table. And of course, the aft deck, where guests will be doing a fair bit of dining as well. There are sliding doors over on that side that open up to the side deck, and then you've got floor-to-ceiling windows here, which align very nicely with this seating. And again, it's the sheer scale of it. Look at all this floor space, the size of the sofas. This is a boat designed to entertain big groups of people. I mean, look at the cabin spaces. They need somewhere to sit and socialise, and well, they've got it here, haven't they? Big TV as well, so you can all sit and watch the television nice and comfortably. It's a proper wow moment. When you step through these doors that just pop open when you press a button and see this main saloon, it is really pretty amazing. Let's start the aft deck. Right, out to the aft deck then. And yeah, this is a really lovely space. It's sort of tiered. So you have dining, seating, and then, well, best till last right at the end. We'll save that for a moment. There's a bar up here, so the crew can serve this space really easily. And talking crew, the captain, as well as having the wing stations up there on the bridge, you've also got another pair of throttles down here and thruster control. So if you're mooring stern too, you can see the platform down there. You can also see forward relatively easily as well. That's really pretty useful. But enough of the tech stuff. Let's look at the living space. It works really well, how they've tiered this all down with your dining up there, close to the bar, really well protected. And then this seating space is kind of able to catch the sun, but there's shade as well. And everything is designed to face the water, and you're probably picking up the tub right now, but you think you're looking over the infinity tub, then you're looking out over the water. When you're anchored out at sea, this is going to be a really lovely place to sit. But we're going to talk about this because this is really the big news on board the 40MXP. That M stands for Mediterranean, separates it from the XP over there, and you can clearly think people in the Med just want to sit in a hot tub and enjoy the weather down here. Well, they're probably right, to be honest. That does look very appealing. So you lose this shady beach club area over here, and you gain this lovely big tub right down here at the waterline. This is a hydraulic bathing platform, so you can drop down into the water, have a dip, and then come and jump in the hot tub. Pretty nice. Good setup this, isn't it? And this is very handy because we can finish off in the engine room, which you get to underneath these steps. And quite the machinery space it is too. The benefit of having slightly smaller engines than a displacement hull is that they have lots of room around them, plenty of clearance overhead, easy to work on all sides. You can inspect everything by eye nice and easily. Got your twin fuel filters here as well, and they are filtering a hell of a lot of fuel, 50,000 litres. But because these are slightly more compact, you've got plenty of space for the ancillaries as well. So we've got 3 generators in this space. You've got a water maker. You really have got plenty of self-sufficiency. Very nicely executed. Using the phrase bang for your buck for a multi-million pound super yacht probably isn't the best thing to do, but I can't think of a boat in this sector that delivers as much for the money, from the cruising range to the amount of accommodation it has on board, and now the deck spaces. You think of a boat with this type of range displacement boat as being, you know, come to a longer cruise, but not maybe so good when the anchor's down. Well, now the living spaces, especially on the MXP with that pull out aft, are just fabulous. So you have the cruising range, but you also have the luxuries on deck to turn it into a really good med boat, as the name suggests. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below, and whether you go for the 37XP or this one. I'd be interested to know. Thanks very much for watching that tour. I hope you enjoyed it. Give us a like if you did, and please do subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you want to see more Turkish yacht content, we've got a lovely tour of the Bilgin 50-metre Camilla. We'll put that up there. Thanks again for watching. I'm Jack Haines. This is YachtBuyer.